Episode 3777, Enough is Enough.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day. Are you ready for the weekend? Because guess what? It's already here, so you better be ready. Anyway, take a deep breath. It's relationship builders. You know what? Enough is enough. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already even had the opportunity, you'll want to head on over to createyournow.com where you can learn more and sign up for the K.I.S.S newsletter, the Keep It Simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, Inspiring Connection and Community. You know, when you're married, communication isn't always a smooth, gentle sail. Wouldn't it be nice, though? If you could just go out, look at the lake and you have a sailboat. Okay, maybe not on the lake, but no, you can have a sailboat on the lake. Definitely in the ocean, but I think on the lake it'd be pretty too. You just have to have that breeze, and some lakes aren't cut out for it. Okay, we're digressing here, right? Let's get off of the lake thing. But that smooth, gentle sail, right? When you have just the crisp, still waters. And all of a sudden then that sailboat comes through, just cutting a ripple. And all of a sudden it's like, wow. But then sometimes it feels like you need to set off an avalanche just for your spouse to even glance your way. Who cares about the nice little pretty? You got to get mean about it. You may not like it, but those hot fights are the wake-up call, the enough is enough moment that shakes things loose. But here's the catch, because there's always one. Standing your ground doesn't mean tearing your partner down, making them feel small, or turning the conversation into a demolition derby. Think about where you are in your marriage. What does it look like right now? Are you struggling? Are you one who says, well, if I don't get mean about it, he's not going to listen? Well, if I'm too quiet about it, sometimes he does listen. Well, we just don't talk anymore. Where are you on that spectrum? Are you in a happy place? If so, don't take it for granted. Tell your spouse, you know what, man? I love, babe, how you and I communicate. It's a good thing. But if you're struggling, that's putting a really big wrench in your marriage. It's upsetting your relationship, the foundation. It's creating more cracks, creating those crevices to where what? Cavities can be filled, where hearts can be broken. You want to be fierce and firm without being a jerk. So how do you make your point and make it stick without belittling the person you promised to stand with? You got to be fierce and firm. That is your K.I.S.S to Keep It Simple strategy. You got to be fierce and firm without being a jerk. And that's hard. Because I don't care if you're hungry or not, the whole hangry thing. When you're ready to put up all arms and like, I'm all in, I'm going to go get after what I want. It sounds like you're a little bit over the top. And yes, you need to stand your ground. You need to be firm. But you don't have to have all this craziness where you're going to just blow the house over. You don't need to be that wolf that's standing out there saying, I'm going to blow your house down, because that's what it ends up feeling like. And what does your partner do? Your spouse is like, I don't want any of this. And they shut down even more. Another brick goes up. You don't want to be in a relationship where you're building walls. The only walls that should be built are the 4 outside main walls within your household. Otherwise, all those other walls, they're just dividers to give you areas to kind of focus on what you need to focus on, right? We have bedrooms. What is that focused on? Okay, I know, don't go there. But yes, intimacy. But that's if it's the primary bedroom, right? But we got kids in another room. Maybe you have a movie theater room. What's the movie theater room for? Watching things together as a family, right? So the walls that you build need to be the home on the outside, not on the inside. And we so make that mistake. We so say, you know what? No. I'm going to build this because I got to protect myself. I've been hurt before. Oh yeah, we all have been. But if you keep building up a wall, how are you ever going to get to the point where you have deeper love? You're not. But there are some ways that you can be very sharp and have no nonsense moves to make sure your voice hits home without blowing the whole house down. Number 1, own your feelings like fire, not a fist. Forget blaming or shaming. This isn't about any narcissistic traits that you're like, here we go. I'm going to use these. No. Okay. The second your words start pointing fingers, your partner's brain locks down. They become very defensive. The guards are up. Nope, don't want to listen to it. So instead, use the power of I statements, meaning you, right? I, that bring your gut feelings front and center. This isn't about tattling. It's about declaring your reality. It may sound like this. I feel unheard when I try to talk to you about this. When you dismiss my thoughts, it hurts because I care. That are your feelings. You're claiming them, not, you know what? I can't believe you make me mad. You're the one who's doing this. You. Do you think you would listen to that? I know you've had those heated discussions. Not. Sometimes they're all out wrestling matches. You just don't have a ring in the middle of your home. Or maybe you do and you just don't realize it. Maybe your bed is what that ring is. Every single time you go in there, it's like, it's all down brawl here. No. Listen to the difference, right? I feel unheard when I try to talk to you about this. I feel unheard. I don't feel like you're listening to me. I say things and you shut me out. You're not accusing, you're owning your emotions like a mature adult who demands respect. If you're sitting there always deflecting, always saying something, that's the narcissistic traits there, okay? That is a big word, by the way, and I'm just going to say it now. I'm going to talk about the elephant in the room. Everybody has narcissistic traits, okay? It's called the traits, right, within your personality. Here's the thing, it's how you use them. And there is something called a narcissistic personality disorder, NPD. We're not going to go down that road right now. But I do want to say this. If you're sitting there only using you, and it's a deflection, it's a, I'm doing this, you need to stop and ask yourself, is that really what I'm doing? If you are of sound mind, you'll be able to answer that honestly. Not like, I've done everything. I've read the books. I've done this. I've listened to reels. Really? Probably not then. Maybe your partner is that person. It may not be you. But it's important, and I'm going to say this too. You don't have to do this alone. If you're caught in the middle of something serious, you need to get help. And not from just anybody, but people who are licensed to help you, okay? That's very important. I cannot stress that enough because there are a lot of people out there that say, I'm a therapist and I'm a counselor, I'm a coach and I can take you and turn your life around. Maybe they can and maybe they can't. Do your research. Okay, I'll come off that soapbox for a minute. But seriously, when you own your feelings, you are being a mature adult. You're growing up. You're not living like a high schooler any longer, right? Go back to those years and think about those conversations. It's hard to brush off or argue with feelings that come straight from the heart, your heart. So own your feelings like fire, not a fist. Number 2, set a clear boundary with consequences. If you want someone to listen, first you need to show them that not listening has real consequences. This doesn't mean ultimatums or drama. We can all create that. Every single one of us can. But firm boundaries with follow through. This is so important with children, and it's just as important in marriage. I need us to have a real conversation about this tonight, or I'm going to take some time alone to think. Sometimes you need to do that. But that means you better take some time alone to think, meaning no more talking about it. Not even if they're like, oh, but honey, I want to talk to you. Silence. Nothing else is said. Because you said, I'm going to take some time. You have to have the follow through. Otherwise, this begging or whatever, it gets you nowhere. Who's winning? And I'm not saying keeping the score, right? That's not what I'm saying. The whole thing here is you have to own the stuff, but you have to follow through with the stuff that you're owning. And that includes the words that you're saying. When you make a statement, I need us to have a real conversation, or I'm taking some time alone to think, you're drawing the line in the sand saying, I'm not going any further with this. This is serious. Another example, if we can't sit down and work this through, I'm going to suggest couples counseling. You're not threatening. You're making it crystal clear that ignoring the problem isn't an option anymore. And back to couples counseling there, right? Make sure you do your research. Make sure it's a good fit. Interview multiple ones. Have conversations. If they have consults, make sure they're a good fit for you. Understand their processes. What they're going to do. Are you going by yourself? Are you having together? Both of you in there for marriage counseling. Sometimes the counseling needs to start individually and then you bring yourself together. Depends on where you are and what's happening. This stakes your claim with a direct, mature call for accountability and signals that your feelings aren't disposable, meaning that you count. You're in this marriage too. It takes two to tango, right? One to start, two to finish. So you got to set a clear boundary with consequences. You got to be one who follows through. Now, I also want to say this because it's important. If you are in an abusive relationship, these most likely are not going to work for you. Why? Because there's going to be consequences already towards you. Physical, emotional, spiritual, whatever it is, psychological. They're going to come after you. So you need to get professional help. And I'm saying this with genuine, truly a genuine heart. I don't want you hurting, okay? But sometimes we get ourselves in a relationship that you just need to get out. And anything and everything you do is like, I can't change the person. No, you cannot. If you've tried to set clear boundaries with consequences and you've been doing it for 15 years, maybe it's a time to say, ding, 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 I need to think of something else. Now, every marriage is different. Every relationship is unique. So again, this isn't a one size fits all. This is, here are some ideas that you can utilize. You have to figure out what's best. But I would encourage you to get professional help. And if you are in that abusive relationship, most definitely reach out. Reach out to someone you can trust so they can help you. You need to be safe. You need to have security and you need to be loved. And if you're not getting that in your marriage and there's stuff happening, physical abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse, there's a lot of that stuff that's happening out there. And it's happening in the privacy of four walls. And all of a sudden you've become silent. That's not the time to be silent. Please go get help. All right. I know this is serious. I don't take it lightly. And so it's really hard when I want to talk about some really serious things, but we also have to look at our situation and we have to have a sound mind. Right? If you're listening to this and you're coming off of a heated discussion, you may be like, oh, Christiane, you have no idea what I just went through and the crap I had to put up with. I get it. Don't listen to this now. Stop it. And then come back to it when you have calmed down. We all need a sound mind. And there are times that we have to put ourselves in time out. Even in marriage, we have to say, nope, time out. Nope, not talking to you. I'm walking away. But you have to do it. You have to follow through. And finally, number 3, use the power of pause and presence. Sometimes the most powerful way to get through to someone who won't listen is to stop trying to fight fire with fire. All right? It's when everything's escalating. Instead, pull back briefly to just reset the tone, to gain what? Oxygen a little bit. That'd be good for your soul. But don't disappear emotionally, meaning stay engaged. Don't allow yourself to be run over by your spouse. Okay, this is just really a manner of saying, you know what? It's sound mind, sound mind. Maybe you have a scripture you need to recite in your head at that moment. Maybe it's a song that you're singing. Because sometimes we can get ourselves put in a position that we don't know what to say until we calm our nerves, calm the anxiety, the fear of, oh my gosh, I'm about ready to vomit everything out that you've done to me for the last 22 years. Right? Yeah, we've been there. I know. So try this. It's an example here. I'm going to take a few minutes to calm down. But when I come back, I want us to really listen to each other. Now, I'm going to tell you this. This works on someone who has a sound mind, who actually is put together mentally. But if you are working with someone who's psychologically unstable, something's happening, you know it's not right, then this isn't going to work. See what I'm saying? That's why you have to reach out for professional help. I know I keep going back to that, but we have so many people who are listening. I don't want to just gloss over this, all right? Or maybe it's simply sitting in a room silently, making eye contact, showing you're present, but not giving in. This is a great way to stake your ground. This pause and be present move flips the power dynamic. It puts your partner in a spot where they have to face the seriousness of the moment without you yelling over them. You just getting louder isn't gaining you anything. I know I used to try that too. But it doesn't work when you have one spouse who's non-confrontational and one who will sit there and be like, I know I'm right, and stand their ground till they are blue in the face. Doesn't work. Silence can be louder than words if you use it right. The bottom line is you don't have to live in a constant war zone. You don't have to have a wrestling ring within the privacy of your own four walls. Standing up for yourself can look like controlled fire, not an explosion. When your spouse refuses to listen, sometimes you need to have that avalanche, right? In order to shake things up. It needs to be like, woo! And it needs to come in fast. But you get to decide if it's an avalanche of respect or a landslide of drama. If you're thinking of an avalanche of respect, that's going to get you further. But a landslide of drama, it's going to fall flat. And it may actually take you out first. Own your feelings. Set boundaries with consequences. Use a poised, intentional pause. And in that pause, you get to take a breath. That's how you plant a stake in the ground without breaking the whole marriage up. Remember, sometimes a hot fight is exactly the jolt your relationship needs. It's like those paddles they put on your heart, right? When all of a sudden it's beep. No. Clear paddles, right? That might be the avalanche for you. It may be a couple of those that your marriage needs just to make sure it leads to real listening. That's the key, not just noise. So where are you today in your marriage? What can you take from this that says, okay, I can do better here. I'm a little lacking in this area. Not that you're failing. You don't know what you don't know. And maybe you're saying, Christiane, I've done this for so long. I think I really do need counseling. I need help. I need a great marriage coach. I need something. Because this, I've been trying forever. I've tried what you've given me. I get it. And maybe you do need to go get professional help. There is nothing wrong with that. Don't hide behind something called fear. Go out and do what you need to do. Stand your ground for your marriage, right? Because otherwise, enough is enough. Well, it's just going to get louder. And it's not going to be pleasurable for your family, not going to be pleasurable around for the holidays. And quite frankly, if you have kids, staying together just to stay together is not the right answer. Okay? I don't believe necessarily in divorce, but I'm here to tell you, if you're with the wrong person and there is abuse involved, you need to look at your situation seriously. Okay? Don't take it lightly. I don't. And you're in the situation, you shouldn't either. But if you're one who says, you know what? Yeah, we got those ups and downs and the roller coaster of life. It just kind of is. And it's fine. But yeah, you're right. He doesn't listen to me. He doesn't hear me. Then maybe you need to strike an avalanche, right? Start one. Enough is enough. See what you can do to shake things up. Because let me tell you, you are created for more. It takes 1 to start, 2 to finish. Go in peace. Be present. Be incredible. Be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed day. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit createyournow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.